Hey everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today I'm going to be doing a design request from my cousin in the Philippines, and today we are featuring characters from the anime series Naruto. So I'm starting off by putting 2 layers of this black shadow by Gelish, and then I'm going to be using 1 coat of this Sheek White again by Gelish. Woo! So I was speaking to my cousins in the Philippines, and I had asked them, what do you think I should do for my nail designs? And my cousin had mentioned this anime cartoon that I know nothing about. But I took the challenge, so here we go. The first and main character is Naruto Uzumaki, and he's kind of like, I guess his powers make him turn into fire. I should probably watch a bit of this show, but I'm too busy watching YouTube channels. So, I am using Shany's striping polish, and I'm just making the silhouette here of his face. So, I chose out of all the characters 5 of them, and we'll go through each one. This is definitely a challenge. As you know, my returning viewers, thank you so much for tuning in again. And for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, like, and comment below. Let me know if you think these characters are close to what they look like or not. Safe space here. So the next character that I'm outlining is Kakashi Hatake. And I do not know what any of these characters are. If anybody does watch this series, kudos. Maybe you can teach me a thing or two while I teach you how I do my line work. But yeah, I never back down from a challenge, and I feel like maybe I need to start my own playlist series of Can That Be Done? If you have any challenges for me below to put on my nails, let me know. I'll see what I can do. They're kind of fun. This was a little daunting, but I said I'm going to do this. So, for the most part, this was pretty fun. At least now I know I can do anime on my nails. And again, it is so different from pencil and paper that I could probably do with more ease than I did with these nails. But it's nice to give myself a challenge and work with nails and a detail brush and nail polish. So after I had outlined with the black shadow from Gelish, I am now taking Sweet Tea by Sally Hansen's Miracle Gel. And mind you, if you aren't familiar with my channel, I'm using all the stuff that I currently have until I run out of it. So I'm reusing a lot of these colors in my videos. So Sweet Tea is the only skin looking color that I have to match these characters. And I wasn't about to mix any colors. That's just too much work. But hopefully these colors will work out. So I had just put on Graffiti, again by Sally Hansen's Miracle Gel for the hair. And now I am taking this Stilettos and Studs, again by Sally Hansen's Miracle Gel, to fill in these bandages or whatever it is, this mask that this guy's wearing. I'm just going to be murdering this whole explanation here. But yeah, I'll have to put this on my list of things to watch. I mean, if you saw I have so many playlists. I have playlists for Netflix, Hulu, Paramount Plus. What else do I have? HBO Max. I think that might be it for now. But yeah, I have this playlist for each one of these streaming things, and I just can barely keep up. So the next character that I am doing is Sakura Haruno. And I think that this, next to Kakashi, was one of the easier characters to do. So I enjoyed doing this character as well. So just to put it out there, this whole set took me, and I did kind of like take my time and kind of maybe, stopped in between here and there. It took me about like 3 hours. That's how long it takes me to take off and put on a full set, I think, because I'm no nail tech, but I mean, we're talking about design, rhinestones, everything, like the whole works, 3 hours. And this 5 character short nail design took me 3 hours. But, it's not like I, do much anyway. So this was probably like reading a book, if you think of it that way. At any rate, again, with this Sweet Tea by Sally Hansen's Miracle Gel. Yeah, we're not really getting creative here with the color formulas. So, there are probably better brushes to be using to apply this in bigger spaces. But I just didn't want to switch out either, because that would mean another brush to clean. So, oddly enough, I find that whenever you use regular nail polish and you're not finding a smooth application, if you try regular or gel polish over it, after it dries, it just smooths itself out, I feel. So what I did with this is I just applied the clear gel after that, and it looked fine to me. So now I'm taking these stamping polishes to do the hair. She's got some really bright pink hair, so I'm putting this in there. And I do find stamping polishes better to work with when doing designs like these, because it dries quicker and it dries very flat unless you like apply like a big glob of it. But I ended up needing the Sally Hansen Miracle Gel Polishes more because of the coverage that it does. It does cover well. I think with some stamping polishes, it comes on a little sheer, so you have to end up putting more on anyway. So the next character that I'm doing is Suzuki Ochiha. Ochiha. I took Japanese for 3 years, and this was in high school about over 2 decades ago. And of course, our main language here is pretty much not that. So, of course, I would not remember much of anything. And when I speak these names, I kill it with my American accent. So, unfortunately, I don't think I'm giving these names justice. But you would think that I would be able to, considering I did study the basics of Japanese characters. So he's got some funky monkey hair. So I'm just drawing or painting these lines as so. I guess that's trending these days, the nice shag hair. That's probably me on a regular, because I hate having to spend time to comb, curl, straighten, even putting my hair back is just work for me. So you can only imagine what most days look like for me. But anyway, and then I'm taking this metallic blue stamping polish, and I'm seeing that the lighting is not doing this justice. So it's a really nice kind of a midnight blue-ish color, metallic color, but it's so weird because, like, yeah, in certain lights it comes off light, but then in other instances it comes off dark. And when I looked at this character online, it seemed like that's exactly what his hair is doing, unless he's got some, it looks like he had some mad shine going on from like some Garnier or whatever. Heating hot oil, I don't know. But if only in the real world we can all have anime hair that looks like it's just so perfect but messy at the same time, if that makes any sense. So again, I'm taking sweet tea, applying this to the face, and we'll be doing this to all the characters, and then applying a top coat over it so that I can continue drawing the features of their face. So in case I mess up, I can just nail cleanse it right off. So that's a nice hack for anyone that is doing a design that you don't want to mess up. Clear top coat it and then apply the next layer, and you can script as much as you want and remove it. So the next character that I'll be doing is Hinata Hugo. And I like this character. She is fairly simple. She has long black hair, and very fine lines in the face, with some gray colored eyes, which works well with the graffiti that I already have. So when I was applying the hair for her, I ended up doing a light application of this black shadow so that some of that background is coming through, and it didn't look so bold against her face. And if you take a look at her photo, the way that they do shadow, like light hitting the hair, sometimes they use like a lighter color of it. So this kind of gave it that effect by applying a light application of the black shadow. So thank goodness that I only have 5 characters to do. Because some of these other characters just looked a little bit too complicated for me to try to fit on a tiny nail. So here I'm going back in with some gold stamping polish by Born Pretty, and I am continuing Naruto Uzumaki's look. I'm just going to basically draw his face now with this color. So it's supposed to look like flames, but the way that they had it, like, I didn't have that kind of orange. So I decided to use gold instead because it also gives that shimmering kind of look, which I think looks more like fire than just putting some orange on there. I did also top coat this a little bit with clear top coat in case I had screwed up. So again, this video is a very long one compared to what I normally post. So I did not show every single thing that I did, but as far as drawing the characters, I wanted to show that to say I did it. And it took me a while. I'm applying some orange stamping polish for the eyes. His eyes were kind of orangey. And then he's got these like paint marks on his face. It reminds me of like football players when they put that stuff on there. But it also is coming off as whiskers, so I wasn't a fan of that. So my process of completing these characters in these stages, I typically do this and then I edit the video so that you see one nail at a time, but I thought it would be very important to show that when you're working with regular nail polish, you do want to have ample time for it to dry. So rather than do per nail and edit all of that, because I actually did take the order that I'm showing you now is the order that I had painted these characters. So I didn't work on one character for a long period of time. I was always switching back and forth between characters to allow the stamping or regular polish to dry. And it was a good thing too, because sometimes you just need a break. There were some faces that I was like, oh my gosh, I am messing up super a lot. So I had to nail cleanse, and I forgot to paint her face. So that was a mistake on my end, because, you know, by the time I get to her, I want to be able to apply the clear gel without worrying about it wrinkling. And I think for the most part, none of that happened here, because these characters are so small and I applied such a thin layer compared to what I would normally do if I would paint regular nail polish on the full nail. I think the amount of time that it took to dry was good enough for me to put the clear top coat on. So after the whole process here, I did find it to be a successful design. Would I want to do this again? I think one and done. I think this is going to be one for the books, and then I'm just going to leave it there. This was definitely a run for my money, and I really hope I did these characters justice. Maybe in not saying their name, but possibly by just drawing them out. Okay, so here I'm taking some more Born Pretty stamping polish, and it's like a deep red that I'm applying here. She's got some sort of jumpsuit jacket going on, and it's a little bit of red. So I'm just going to be applying this. And, you know, I probably should have done the finishing outfit look on some of these characters, because they do have some sort of attire on, but I just cut it off at the neck because it was just easier for me that way. Here I forgot to do his neck, so now I'm putting this on, hoping that it'll be enough time to dry by the time I'm done with this face. And as you see here, I am applying the clear top coat now to Miss Sakura Haruno's face, and to also Suzuki Ochiha. Yikes. Basically all the characters. So here I'm just trying to finish up with the eyes. So I like how they do them. It's very fine line, barely there, but you can see the formation of an eye. So I'm like, oh, it took me a minute to figure out that I really can't go heavy on my facial features. I tend to be heavy-handed. So here I have him like looking down like he is in his photo. And this is probably my first time doing something closer to realistic. Since this is not my everyday thing. I just don't do anime. Again, this would be probably a different outcome if I had done this on paper. And I feel like I should probably do that one time. Like, do a time-lapsed hand drawing of, I don't know, I was thinking maybe of a family photo or a celebrity drawing. But we'll see, because I barely have time for anything else. At any rate. So I'm just finishing some of this dude's hairstyle. He's got the shag going on, and I realized that I just did like the bangs and I didn't do the rest of his hair. So I'm just filling that stuff in. Again, I'm not anime, so this hair is not falling perfect. So for Sakura Haruno's face, her facial features are just so plain and simple, like Hinata Hugo's. And I thought that this would be very easy to do, and when I ended up actually doing it, I messed up a couple of times. It's not as easy as I thought it was going to be, because when they do their facial features in anime, it's like they don't complete it. It's like they didn't draw the full eye. They'll just draw like, the heavy features of the eye, if that makes any sense. So you're not going to see the inner corners of the eye drawn, so it just automatically looks different on mine than it does theirs. Plus, it was probably drawn by some really good artists, and I'm just, this wannabe here. But I think it's not terrible. I really like this technique of drawing these eyes, applying the Sheek White, curing it, and then applying the irises on top. It reminds me of like one of those screen prints or old school newspaper prints where it would go on a plate and then you have to apply each color to make black, or so that's kind of what it reminded me of, doing these layers. And I like doing the layers. I've been doing layers on most of my videos, if you haven't noticed. So this kind of worked out, and it was like I said, it was kind of fun, a little tough, but a little fun for me to slowly reveal to myself the end product by applying the outline, and then the color of the face, and then the top coat, maybe the hair. It was just all in pieces. And so actually editing the video and watching it back, it was like, oh, that was kind of cool that it started out looking like nothing, and then it slowly came through. So we are working now on the final nail. And believe it or not, I had to fix this a bunch of times. I thought Miss Hinata Hugo was going to be simpler than Sakura, but it wasn't. And I just couldn't even explain why. Again, these features were just so like light-handed, and I have a heavy hand when I do my line work. So I think that's where the problem lies, because it just wasn't sitting very well for me to do these characters. Now, on pencil and paper, when I do people, there's a technique, I have no idea what it's called, where you line out your body or your face. So it's like usage of ovals and curves, and you have to proportion, your face by using these curved lines, and that's how you know where to put the eyes, the nose, the mouth. And I can't do that on nails because you'll see those lines. Like, what am I going to draw with? Someone told me once upon a time to rough up the nail a bit by like a fine grit filing emery board, and then draw like faint lines with a pencil. Well, I can't do that here because I'm coloring in as I go. So if I draw pencil on the skin, you're going to see it. How am I going to take it off? It's not like I was going to paint over it. But I guess in that sense, in drawing, you would first hand draw your, whatever it is you're doing, and then you color in later. So I don't know. It's many ways you can do this, and I chose to do it this way. And it worked out. So pats on back to me. Again, here I'm taking some Sheek White and I'm applying this to her eyes. And we're going to give this a cure before I apply the irises of her eyes. And she's going to have that gray, we're putting graffiti on it. Which I think is like very interesting because that's a very light color to be using. So you wouldn't be able to tell where her eye is, but I mean, especially on a nail this small. But it's so weird, as I'm doing this voiceover now, I'm actually looking at my pinky nail and it's so eerie. Like, I could totally see it. It's crazy what I did this time. I mean, you know how many people would do this? Like, I know a few channels that are very skilled in doing characters on nails, and I have no idea how they got to that point, but they're so good at doing that. If you know of any channels um that do this, that are capable of drawing full out characters on their nails, please leave a comment below so that I can enjoy their work, because it's very crazy. I mean, I don't know, the work that I did does not super match the photos on Google, and I don't know why I even took this challenge, but I was fascinated by it, and I think I did a pretty decent job, and I can only imagine what the real artists do on nails. So, yeah. So now we are finally applying the Nourish Cuticle Oil to each finger, and we're going to rub this in because we are at last finally done. And thank you so much if you got to this point of my video. I so super appreciate your support and interest in this design. And again, please comment below. Tell me what you think of these nails. This is definitely for sure my labor of love, my 3-hour labor of love. Whoa, Nelly. This took quite a bit of time. So here's the end result. It's kind of crazy though, because I feel like it's a little weird. I have people staring at me all day now, like 5 of them, being like, you totally messed up my eye, my hair, my face. So sorry, but this was definitely a really fun challenge at the end of the day. I'd like to thank my cousin so much for giving me this assignment. And I loved the outcome of these characters from Naruto. I can't. Just thinking about like all the time that I spent on it. At any rate, this is Isms by Josie. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos. And join me again next time. Thank you so much. Bye.